Hey fellas, I wanted to chat with you a moment. And then I drew a blank. Anyways, I don't know how to tell this to you folks. Hard times are coming. I'm already feeling them. I don't know how else to tell you this, guys, but if you think the year 2021 was hell, or if you think this year 2020 was hell, you wait, it's gonna get worse. Some people are fearful of dying or being shot by the cops or whatever. Some people are just fearful of dying in general. Let me give you some sound business advice. If I made every decision in life, this is not just business advice here, this is life advice. If I lived in fear of dying, I'd never have gotten anywhere in life. And now that thought came back to my mind. Here's the thought. In high school, I never really knew how loved and appreciated I was by people around me until I graduated. I had over 50 handmade cards handed to me by the fellow students around me, hugged by men and women, thanked profusely for inspiring them to continue on in life, thanked for inspiring them to change their lives around. And I never really thought I was all that important in high school. But the reason that certain things about high school, just the thought of it really brought me comfort and closure in life to that chapter was people may not know how to really show it at a particular moment in time, but people are noticing the good you're doing in life and your hard work ethics will pay off. And I was raised, fortunately enough, with really good work ethics. It's really too bad that, and I prayed hard about this stuff, and one day it was a cold, blustery January morning, It was about 1:30 in the morning, and I just had this urgent need to go back to my mom's previous place of residence. And I prayed hard and fasted over it, and I know the truth about what happened leading up to and after the time of my mother's death. I know it in full. And I really don't like to talk about this part, but I feel comfortable going really deep into certain portions of my life to provide inspiration. The truth about my mother's death is literally, to this day, 10 times what I expected it to be. I sit here half the time asking myself, some of these questions, kind of dazed, confused, in shock about knowing the facts behind my mother's death. And I knew God was going to answer my prayer. I have something that I need to show all of you. When you pray hard enough, okay, this toe right here, I only a week prior to the event had it permanently removed with a very potent acid after a splash and slash toenail removal. I went outside for a walk. The pain melted away as my feet got cold from those cork boots that I'm so familiar with. The pain just disappeared. The drive and the pull got stronger, as though God were pulling myself and my companion with me. And I don't mean a light pull, I mean we were both drawn to it. The truth behind it leaves me appalled. That a divorce could wind up being that brutal. My mother's side of the family knows the facts too. They knew it from the start. I'm the kind of guy who is very forgiving. There was a moment in time where I was puzzled of the answers. This is where things turn interesting. I went to church. Started going back to church in 2019. Went to a different church. I could barely look the Catholic Church down for so long. I could barely look at the darn building. It lasted over a year, that feeling. And it was around the time that I had witnessed, through God's amazing ways of showing people, He really, the only way I can explain it, He knows how to convey the word to you. But you have to be ready to receive the answer, no matter how ugly it is. No matter how disturbing it is. And you have to be ready. Turn over a new leaf in life. You have to be willing to forgive and to forget the pain. But there's just this deep, immense thing within me. I attempted for so long to record some part of the deep understanding I have. I started going on nightly walks after that, and I started singing a sad song one night. And just following a path. I was originally just going to go down Golden Hills Drive, and was kind of debating going down to the church. I was walking along, and I don't know how else to say it, but lo and behold, two missionaries. I could tell one was a martial artist, and was one of the real beauties of earth. She moved with such grace. Her companion moved with such grace right alongside her. But this one missionary, it's like she reached into my chest without ever physically reaching into my chest, grabbing me by the heart, and showing me she could be trusted with the truth. The truth that I was not all right. The truth that my whole life was on the fritz. Days passed. Weeks passed. Weekly meetings with the missionaries. Came and went. I had so many addictions I had to kick. And April came and I met with my doctor and said, Doc, I'm broken. Drugs have never helped me at all. I want to get rid of them. I want to get away from them. I need some help, Doc. For the first time ever, I put full trust in a doctor for the first time in 5 years. And it started when he said, Matt, a lot of people have been coming up to me saying, get you off these meds. He said, Matt, ordinarily I tell you, I can get you into drug and alcohol treatment today. But there's a problem, Matt. This is different. I can't do that. I'm going to discontinue your meds, but you have to do what God wants you to do. You have to start taking better care of your body, or you'll never be around for your kids. I said, Doc, I don't even have kids. He said, Matt, you're going to have kids one day. But you're just beating the tar out of your body. You're putting tar in and you're beating it right on out. Matt, you need to do something with your life. You need to get it in order. Well, I looked Doc Tom in the face and I said, Doc, tell me something, Doc Tom. I want to know. Shoot me straight. Can you fix me? He said, Matt, in this case, you need to go to God and you need to go to Jesus and you need to beg him for mercy. Because all you're doing lately is destroying yourself. Now, that was only... Let's see, I had been arrested on March 28th. My first court date. I recall it was the first Thursday of April of 2019. A couple of weeks later, I was in the doctor's office. And it's around that whole time frame of my life really coming unraveled really quickly. Folks, I want you to learn from me. It's not worth it. Drugs, alcohol, none of it's worth it. regardless of legality. There's no drug that can fix anything. Refined products rob from the body. Folks, if there's anything you can learn from me, and I say this holding back tears, holding back sobs, please, if you do anything in life, if you're already screwing up, you're wondering what to do, please, whatever you do, hear me out on this video. It's the only thing I really ask you to really pay attention to is, of all videos, you need to pay attention to this one. This can and will save your life. Hard times are coming and people are going to turn to prescription drugs. I'm going to be frank with you and honest. A massive syringe load of prescription drugs killed my mother. They damn near, bottle after bottle of pills were killing me. Pack after pack of smokes were killing me. Bottle after bottle of alcohol was killing me. Bowl after bowl of marijuana was killing me. It was all killing me. When the doc listened to my lungs and told me there's nothing I can do, and the only person you have that can save you is, you need to go to God and Jesus. You need to beg them for mercy. You need to fix yourself, man. That was a turning point in my life. I was coping with the realities of everything I was struggling to deal with the realities of everything that was going on around me. I had moved into the apartment that I'm in December of 2018. No oven rack. The floor pretty much floods every time I take a shower. The windowsills, water pours in when it's wind-blown rain. At the end of the day, from the bathroom flooding and the terrible management going on here, my toilet leans, and I actually measured this with high precision tools, 7.2 degrees to one side, 2.2 degrees forward. I had to fix my own water heater. But at least I have a roof over my head. Food in my belly. A water heater that is now properly fixed and is working beautifully. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything you can learn, I mean anything at all, from me, there's one thing that makes all the difference. Attitude. I was baptized into the Church of Latter-day Saints of Jesus Christ on the 23rd day of May, 2020. And when I chose that date, I had numerous reasons behind it. That date, the only thing I can really say about it is I wanted to do it in April, but 420. Need I say more on that one? Originally, I was planning on getting baptized in March, but that got postponed, and they were trying to do it in April, and I said, I can't do it in April. Can't do it in April. We have to look further out. We have to do it in May. I openly admitted my reasons to the missionaries. I told them, you may not know it, but I've got a lot of experience, and I know it. April of this year was known as the month of weed. 420. Well, every year on April 20th, all the weed addicts hit the bowl extra hard and screw themselves up extra hard. So I started figuring out a date. Another reason I chose May is because "13 years prior to that month, gave me a whole new plot twist in life. I found my true passion. We moved from a house in a city you'd probably recognize, and I moved out. All three of us, well, 3 out of 4 of us moved over to the farm that only lasted, sadly, 5 years, 6 months. And another reason I chose May is another symbol of history important to me. Mayflowers. If you look up the Mayflower, there's a lot of history there, folks. A lot of history. Now, when it came down to choosing the exact date, I looked up at the sky and saw a beautiful moon. And I knew what I had to do. I had to make an advanced math equation that few could figure out. I chose the 23rd day of May because when you add how many days into the month to the number of months into the year, it gives you 28. Now, let me explain this part to you. My dreams and my bucket list, it's not just in the clouds, it's not just on cloud 9. It's all the way to the moon. In the sense of what everybody else's realistic expectations is. Because I know one thing better than anyone else. The human mind is extremely powerful. It is so extremely powerful. It's the only thing that limits the human body the most. You find really quickly how many reserves you can tap into when you need to get something done. And it's just a repetitive task. 16, 18, sometimes 20-hour days on the farm, doing snow plowing, and it was rough. But I learned a lot. Something I learned more than anything. I mean, more than anything. Never underestimate the human mind. Never underestimate your body. But also never overestimate your body. There's two things in this world that you need to learn to never underestimate. The mind and the power of God. When you go against His will, you feel like He doesn't exist and that the only thing that exists is the devil. Let me tell you something from personal experience. This is something I've never admitted in a video before. At 12 years old, I started planning ways to commit suicide. I walked a lot of the time from the age of 12 all the way to the age of 24. It's 12 years of my life not caring if I lived or died. Every day, doing my best to do my duty to God and my country, as I stated in that Boy Scout oath for so many years. Now, folks, I want you to remember the famous quote. I seem to recall it was from John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And with that, folks, we conclude with this closing argument and closing statement. Why wait till tomorrow? Tomorrow is a day that never comes. Do it today. Do it now. Change your life around now. Learn what eternal happiness feels like. Where you could be on an airplane, which the engine literally exploded on, killing a fellow passenger. You sitting there calmly, quietly listening to everything going on, making careful observations. You notice someone so terrified of dying and having to answer to God that they're screaming in fear of dying. Let me tell you something right now, folks. Would you rather be the one who has at such true peace in their life that you can sit there calmly, taking in valuable information, sending up a prayer for yourself, for the fellow passengers with you, for the captain, for the first officer, and for the flight crew to survive and to bless the soul that has ascended into the spirit realm, to the spirit realm. Or would you rather be the one person screaming your fool head off because you're not going to get to do that one last thing that you've been doing your whole life? Get that one last hit in, or that one last pill, or that one last drink of alcohol, or being upset that you weren't a better parent, better sibling, better child, better descendant in general? Or would you rather be okay with knowing that if it's your time, God will take you, and there's nothing you can do to stop it? And that if it's not your time, that there's nothing you can do to stop that? You know, there's nothing you can do to make that happen, of making it be your time? You could be that fool, jumps 100 feet, walks away with a broken back, having found God the really hard, painful way. Or you could go to church. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby ask you to do me a favor. Even if you're not a member, and you're near Cheney, Washington, I want you to swing by the church on the third Sunday of the month, 10 a.m. Be there, or be square, quite literally. I want you to do me a favor. After church, or even before church, find the missionaries. They are there every single time, without failure. Also, feel free to approach me, whether it be in church, whether it be in public. Thank me if you wish. Tell me the story of how one of my talks changed your life literally forever. Tell me about how me, still in rags, but able to make sure I don't look like I live in rags, can change the lives of everyone around me. Tell me how I changed your life. You can drop it in the comments. I read every single one of them. It may take me a little while to get to them, but I ask of all of you, give it your best shot. Because it might be the only shot you have left to save your own ass. That's right. It might be the only thing you have left. Is one last shot. Better make it count, folks. Christ is coming. We're at the part where the devil makes his appearance. I never knew how much I could help people like you. So, folks, do your best to at least investigating. Just do your best to at least investigate the church if you're of a different religion. Maybe one day I might sit down with you face to face and talk to you about that fateful day where God took my mother and showed me something totally different than what I ever expected. I thank God every day now, and I appreciate Him. I thank Jesus every day for being such an excellent individual. Remember, folks, the bad times make the good times so much better. As much as I'd love to go back to the 90s, that's not reality. Folks, I only have one last little thing to ask of you. If you haven't already, and that subscribe button is still red, turn it gray. If you are looking for a potential conversation, drop a comment down in the box. I'll happily conversate with you there. If you can be so kind as to rate the video, that might really help. Now, folks, I've said my part, and I must say goodbye for now, for we will meet again If not in person, it will be in a future video. Maybe this video will inspire you to change your life. Who knows? Without further ado, goodbye for now, for we will meet again. For I hold my word as true as the 7 years I have been on YouTube. For now, we must end this video, for there always is tomorrow, and we will meet one day soon, and you will be ready to accept the facts as they are. To each and every one of you, a peaceful, sleepful good night. For now I must hit the sack, for tomorrow comes bright and early. For there is no better time like now to give your life to God. Goodbye, good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite. For tomorrow morning is a joy to be seen, and for all to see a grateful day. For the coming of Christ is near, for we have nothing to fear. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. For there is comfort deep within thyself. And now we go to sleep tonight. For if I don't get a chance to meet you, and your dying wish is to meet me, we will certainly see each other in heaven when God has dictated the time is right. For if we don't meet today, we will meet in heaven another day. And for now, a good night and a farewell for now. For I end this with a bow. For you will see it isn't just about what tomorrow or the past brings, but for living in the now. Good night, sleep tight. We'll see each other someday soon, whether it be on earth or in heaven. We will see each other when the time has been brought together by a match made in heaven. Thank you, folks.